Prince Harry made a surprise appearance in Ukraine this morning.
Prince Harry has arrived home in the UK as the British royal family paid their respects to the late Queen on the 3rd anniversary.
Visiting wounded service members, Ukraine is one of the nations bidding to host the Invictus Games in 4 years' time.
Will we see a royal reunion or not?
Well, we'll wait to see because Harry is here for 4 days. He's kicked off his visit back home.
Our royal expert, Patricia Treble, joins us now with more on this. So what more can you tell us about this visit by Harry?
By visiting the Well Child Awards. He has been patron of this charity for some 18 years. He gave a very heartfelt speech there.
Yeah, so this is the overnight train into Kyiv because it's the only way to go in. And Kyiv is under daily attack. So
it celebrates seriously ill children. But prior to that and just after he landed, he laid a wreath at the burial site.
So this is a dangerous trip. Apparently he had to get Meghan's approval for this, and she gave it.
And his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, only 11 kilometres away, were his brother and sister-in-law.
And he's done this before. He did it last time he was in Britain. He went over, and it's really to visit the troops. I mean, because
they were also honouring the Queen by visiting the Women's Institute, of which the Queen was a member of for some 80 years.
This is one of the causes that he just loves so much. We don't know if he's going to be visiting any, diplomats.
William telling the ladies there he can't believe it's been 3 years since her passing. And I have to agree.
Or anything like that, but it's really just for the Invictus Games and for the troops.
Prince Harry's made a surprise trip to Ukraine. Here's what it's all about.
I have breaking news for us. Harry's at Clarence's house right now.
I'll bet dollars to donuts that Camilla's in the room.
The Duke of Sussex took an overnight train to Kyiv and was warmly welcomed.
Hugo told me previously that the Queen liked to have someone in the room for protection with her.
As he arrived in the Ukrainian capital, hugged by the woman who'd encouraged him to come.
When Harry and or Meghan were there, because she didn't know what they were going to ask for. She didn't know, they always needed something.
When Meghan Markle raised her glass with a cheeky toast, "When your beau is back in town," it seemed like nothing more than a playful celebration. But behind those few words was a story much bigger than a casual sip of rosé. Prince Harry had just returned home to California after a whirlwind journey that took him through war-torn Ukraine and back to the halls of Buckingham Palace, where whispers of long-buried family tensions echoed louder than ever. This wasn't just a reunion between husband and wife. It was a moment packed with symbolism, speculation, and questions that could reshape how the world sees the Sussexes. Because while Meghan smiled for the cameras and poured wine to mark Harry's return, insiders and royal watchers were already asking, was this lighthearted toast really a sign of happiness, or a carefully staged message meant to send shockwaves across the royal divide? When Meghan Markle decided to share her husband's return on Instagram, she didn't opt for a simple photo of Harry stepping off a plane or a cozy family moment at home. Instead, she used her lifestyle company's official page to post an image of 2 glasses of Napa Valley rosé being filled, adding the line, "When your beau is back in town." On the surface, it looked playful, even romantic, the kind of cheeky nod to love that her fans adore. But the reaction online was far from one-sided. Supporters rushed to celebrate the couple's reunion, calling Meghan's post classy and relatable, proof that the two were still deeply in love despite constant media scrutiny. Yet critics saw something else entirely, a calculated move to spotlight her brand in the middle of Harry's highly sensitive return from overseas. Some even suggested that the wording was a subtle dig at the royal family, framing Meghan as the one providing comfort and stability, while Harry faced difficult moments abroad. It didn't take long for the comment sections to ignite, with fans dissecting every detail. Was Meghan being playful, or was she sending a message? Was this toast simply about Harry's homecoming, or was it also about reasserting control over the narrative surrounding their marriage and his strained ties to the monarchy? Whatever the truth may be, Meghan's decision to pair her husband's personal milestone with her brand's spotlight left people talking, and in today's world of royal headlines, that's rarely an accident. While Meghan was busy raising a glass back in California, Prince Harry was stepping into a situation that carried far greater risks than most royal appearances. His unannounced trip to Ukraine marked his second visit to the war-torn country this year. And unlike staged palace ceremonies, this journey put him directly in the middle of a global conflict. Invited by the Ukrainian government, Harry traveled to Kyiv to spend the day with his Invictus Games Foundation, the organization he founded for wounded veterans and service members. On paper, it was a noble gesture, but behind the scenes, the decision sparked countless questions. Harry admitted he had to clear the trip, not just with the British government, but also with Meghan, a telling detail that suggests the journey was far from a simple choice. Critics immediately questioned whether Meghan was truly supportive of Harry putting himself in such a dangerous environment, or if this was yet another example of Harry breaking away from royal expectations to chart his own controversial path. And then there's the optics. Harry photographed among soldiers and veterans, reinforcing his image as a humanitarian, while at the same time raising eyebrows among royal commentators who accused him of seeking headlines more than offering real help. Some reports even hinted that Buckingham Palace was caught off guard by the sudden visit, fueling speculation about whether Harry was making a statement not only to the world, but to his own family. Was this just about supporting Invictus, or was Harry deliberately reminding both the public and the monarchy that he doesn't need the crown to make a global impact? After his time in Ukraine, Harry's next stop brought him back onto British soil, where his every move was carefully watched. His return to the UK wasn't just about personal matters. It was packed with engagements meant to reinforce his identity as a philanthropist and a prince with purpose, even outside the monarchy. He attended the Well Child Awards, an event he has long supported, delivering heartfelt words about the resilience of children facing serious health challenges. At the Center for Blast Injury Studies, he spoke with experts and veterans, reminding the public of his enduring connection to the armed forces. And in Nottingham, he visited a community recording studio where he shocked many by announcing a personal donation of $1.5 million to the charity Children in Need. On the surface, these moments painted Harry as a compassionate figure staying true to his causes, but not everyone saw it that way. Critics accused him of grandstanding, suggesting that the high-profile appearances were carefully staged to rebuild his image back in the UK, especially after years of strained relations with the royal family. Some even speculated that the large donation was a public relations strategy, designed to overshadow ongoing controversies and remind people of his wealth and influence despite stepping away from royal duties. Supporters, however, argued that Harry's actions proved his sincerity, that he was continuing his late mother, Princess Diana's legacy of giving, regardless of the palace politics swirling around him. But even here, the question lingered. Were these appearances truly about charity, or were they part of a larger plan to reintroduce Harry to the UK audience, at a time when his ties to the monarchy are under more scrutiny than ever? The moment that grabbed the most headlines during Harry's whirlwind return to Britain wasn't a charity gala or a heartfelt speech. It was the private reunion with his father, King Charles. After nearly 19 months without an in-person meeting, Harry was spotted entering Clarence House on September 10th, the King's London residence. For just under an hour, father and son were behind closed doors, sharing tea in what the palace later described as a strictly private engagement. On paper, it sounded warm and straightforward, but the secrecy surrounding the meeting only fueled speculation. No photos, no statements, no leaks beyond confirmation that the conversation took place. Royal watchers immediately questioned what could have been said. Was this a genuine attempt at reconciliation after years of bitterness, or simply a symbolic gesture to cool down public tensions? Some insiders hinted that recent behind-the-scenes talks between Harry's new aides and the king's staff may have laid the groundwork for this meeting, suggesting an olive branch was finally being extended. But others doubted the sincerity, pointing out the brevity of the meeting, less than an hour, and the fact that Meghan was noticeably absent from the trip. Critics argued that her presence might have complicated matters, raising the possibility that the king only agreed to meet on the condition that she stayed away. Whatever the truth, the meeting was shrouded in mystery, leaving both supporters and detractors to fill in the gaps. Was this tea a quiet first step toward mending the deepest royal rift in decades, or just another carefully staged scene designed to make it look like progress was being made, when in reality the wounds remained far from healed? For all the headlines about Harry's reunion with King Charles, one detail stood out more than anything else. Meghan Markle wasn't there. To some, her absence was practical. After all, she stayed in California with the couple's 2 children, but for others, it spoke volumes. Royal insiders were quick to point out that Meghan's relationship with the monarchy has been one of the biggest stumbling blocks in Harry's path toward reconciliation. and her decision to remain thousands of miles away only added to the speculation. Some royal commentators suggested the king might have agreed to meet Harry on the condition that Meghan didn't attend, while others argued Meghan herself may have preferred to avoid what would undoubtedly have been a tense and scrutinized encounter. Meanwhile, whispers from palace sources painted a picture of fragile trust slowly being tested. Reports claimed that Harry's aides have recently met with members of Charles's staff, small steps that insiders described as an olive branch, though no one could agree on whether it signaled genuine healing or cautious diplomacy. Critics seized on the optics, pointing out that Meghan's absence made it easier for Harry to present himself as a son seeking peace rather than a couple continuing to challenge the monarchy. Supporters, on the other hand, defended Meghan, saying her choice to stay back was not about tension, but about protecting her family from yet another media frenzy. Still, the unanswered question remained. Was Meghan deliberately left out to clear a path for father and son to reconnect? Or does her absence only prove that the rift between the Sussexes and the royal family is far from closing? Once the whirlwind of overseas appearances and royal reunions ended, Harry's return to California was framed as a fresh start, at least on the surface. Back in Montecito, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex settled into the rhythm of family life with their 2 children, Archie and Lilibet, just in time to celebrate Harry's 40th birthday. Meghan marked the moment not through a quiet family dinner or a private post, but by linking the homecoming to her lifestyle brand as ever. By sharing a carefully staged image of wine glasses filled with her company's new Napa Valley rosé, Meghan turned a personal milestone into a marketing opportunity. To her supporters, this was smart branding, a seamless blend of family joy and business ambition, showing that she could celebrate her husband while spotlighting her latest venture. But critics saw it differently, accusing her of commercializing Harry's return and reducing an emotional moment into a sales pitch. Some even suggested the timing was intentional, using the buzz around Harry's reunion with his father to funnel attention toward her brand. For Meghan, though, this strategy was nothing new. She has often merged personal milestones with public messaging, ensuring that the Sussexes remain both relevant and profitable in the crowded celebrity landscape. Yet the move also underscored a bigger question. Are Harry and Meghan living their California dream as an escape from royal scrutiny, or have they simply traded the palace spotlight for a different kind of stage, one where every family moment doubles as content and every toast is also a headline? If there's one thing the world has learned about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, it's that every move they make sparks 2 completely different stories, depending on which side of the Atlantic you're on. In the United States, Harry's return and Meghan's celebratory toast were largely framed as uplifting. A devoted wife welcoming her husband home, a couple raising a glass to love, and a family preparing for a birthday celebration in California sunshine. But in the UK, the tone was far less forgiving. British tabloids zeroed in on the brevity of Harry's reunion with King Charles, painting the 55-minute tea as evidence of a relationship still riddled with tension. Commentators accused Meghan of using the moment to promote her brand, while critics argued that Harry's charity donations and public appearances were little more than image repair tactics. Social media, meanwhile, became its own battlefield. Supporters celebrated the toast as playful and sweet, with fans calling Harry and Meghan the true modern royals, while skeptics dissected every word, suggesting Meghan's post was carefully staged to overshadow the fragile peace talks between Harry and his father. And then came the conspiracy-minded takes, some insisting the toast was a distraction strategy, others speculating it hinted at deeper cracks still hidden from the public eye. In the end, one thing was clear. No matter how simple or small their gestures may seem, Harry and Meghan remain lightning rods for debate, caught between praise and criticism in a media cycle that never seems to let them go. Prince Harry's latest journey may have ended with a quiet toast in California, but the road that led him there was anything but simple. In the span of just a week, he placed himself in the middle of a global conflict in Ukraine, returned to the UK to champion causes close to his heart, and shared tea with his father for the first time in nearly 2 years. Each moment carried layers of symbolism, questions, and speculation, from the sincerity of his charity work to the secrecy of his meeting with King Charles. And through it all, Meghan Markle's presence, or lack thereof, loomed large, with her cheeky toast doubling as both a romantic gesture and a branding move that ensured the world was still talking about them. Supporters see a couple writing their own story, proving they can live outside the palace and still command attention. Critics, however, argue it's all part of a carefully staged performance, designed to keep their names in the headlines at any cost. The truth, as always with the Sussexes, likely lies somewhere in between. What's undeniable is that their saga continues to fascinate, dividing opinion across continents, fueling endless debate, and leaving the public to wonder what comes next. Is this really the beginning of reconciliation with the monarchy, or just another carefully orchestrated chapter in a royal drama that shows no signs of ending? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: when it comes to Harry and Meghan, the world will always be watching.